So what's the difference between the DDS and the Dilawan? So let's talk about that, because that's actually, these terms became smear terms that we have in this country. So this is in line or in conjunction with the difference in terms of tactics and ideology between American people and Filipino people. In America, they have two-party system, like I said, right? They have the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. But here's one thing you need to know, because there are a lot of idiots and stupid people in the Philippines who think that the two-party system was explicitly provided or mandated by the American Constitution. No, it was not. It is not mandated or specifically called for by the US Constitution. There's nothing in the Constitution that says there should be two-party system in the United States. And that's what Filipino politicians don't get. And we've seen a lot of intellectuals in the Philippines, including former Chief Justice Renato Puno, who said, we need to have a two-party system. We need to amend our Constitution and make it a two-party system, or a constitution that mandates a two-party system. These people are stupid. All right, they don't know what they're talking about. So it is not mandated. The reason why they need to have a two-party system is because of one particular system in the electoral process, which is the electoral college voting system. That you need to get today it's 270 electoral votes, right? You need to have a president. A nominee president of either party needs to have 270 or more votes, electoral votes, in order to win the presidency. All right, so that's a difference. The U.S. Constitution, like I said, it does not mandate or call for a two-party system. I think you know that America does not have a popular voting system. They don't have a popular electoral vote system. That's the reason why, even though Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, because she got like lots of millions from California, and according to reports, 3 million came from fraud voters, okay, from California. That doesn't mean that you're going to win the presidency. You need to win the electoral vote. So what does that mean? So we need to get to the very beginning of the United States in order to understand this electoral college vote system. So unlike the Philippines and other countries, the United States were formed by independent states. Okay, they created a union or federation of independent states. So they have the independent state of Virginia and others, etc. So these states agreed to form a union, independent union of union of independent states. So what does this mean? Even though they have this federal constitution or system, the states are still independent. They have their own taxation, they have their own electoral process, they have their own Senate, government, etc. So that's the reason why we have this, what we call interstate law. Okay, so the laws in this particular state is different from the other states. For example, if one state decided and the people of that state voted to legalize marijuana or drugs, whatever kind of drugs, as long as the people agreed to the legalization of any types of drugs, then that's going to be the law of that particular state. But another state is not bound by that policy taken by the other state, right? That's what it means. So in some state, it's legal to have an abortion, right? In some state, they have a stricter abortion law. Most, if not all, GOP or red states, these are Republican states, have better policy when it comes to gun ownership. This is the Second Amendment. They are, the Republicans are really for Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. Okay, they have this concealed carry policy that will allow you to conceal and carry your guns without being arrested by the authority, right? So this is not the case of the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, because there's this allegation that he moved his gun from one state to the other, which was actually invalidated or debunked already. He didn't move that gun from his home state to the other state in Kenosha, right? So that's the issue of gun ownership. So some other states have no income tax at all, like Alaska, for example. They don't have income tax. We don't have this system in the Philippines because we have a national system. So whatever the Congress is going to say, Congress, which is under the control of the Malacanang Palace, it's going to be the law of the land. So these morons like Mocha Uson, for example, are advocating for a federalist system. That's why I was critical of them, because do these people actually know what they're talking about when they're advocating for federalist system? I'm not actually against federalist system. It's just that I'm just laughing it off. I'm just laughing at them for, I don't think they understand what federalism is. Because if they actually want it, I'm actually for federalism, as long as we have a better understanding of what federalism is, because it might turn out that we're going to adopt a federal system, but it's still going to be a national system. It's just that we just call it federalism, right? It's a federalist in name only, or FINO, federalism in name only, but still going to be a national system in which everything is going to be controlled by the president and the National Congress and Senate, right? That's not what federalism is. So if we're going to copy a system that was particularly created or invented or originated by one geography or one nation like America, for example, we need to make sure that we follow the principles, the original principles of that system. Let's say federalism, or in some cases, many countries copied the parliamentary system from the UK. So those who copied the parliamentary system made sure that they're going to copy the principles of that system, although they incorporated their own system, like in the case of Malaysia, and in the case of Singapore, for example, right? So here in the Philippines, a lot of people, a lot of DDS, were like saying, okay, it's time for us to adopt a federal system. Mocha Uson was actually one of those saying the same thing. But I was like laughing it off and said, Duterte is a demagogue, okay? He does not want competition. He does not want dissent coming from other people. What more if we're going to adopt a federalist system? So, for example, Duterte is anti-drugs. He's got this national anti-drug campaign policy that cost a lot of lives, that really stagnated this nation. It failed, actually. It's gonna, like I said, in the past, right after he won, Duterte's drug campaign policy is gonna fail. It's gonna simply kill people, and I tell you, it's not going to achieve anything good. All right, it's not gonna achieve anything good. So I was saying, so you're saying that you're in favor of federal system? Do you happen to know what you're talking about? And because if you're gonna have a really good federalist system that's copied from its origin, that contains the original principles of the first implementer of the system, then we're going to have independent states with independent laws and policies, right? What if one state, for example, let's say Ilocandia state, independent Ilocandia state, where I come from, what if they wanted to legalize marijuana and drugs? Okay, and the other independent state would like to ban drugs. What's the national government gonna say? But So, well and good if you would like to have a really, you know, original, regionalized. Let's say I'm gonna use the term originalized. Okay, uh, federalist system. What do I mean by that? So a federal system that is faithful to the system of its origin. Okay, in the United States. So we're gonna copy the federal system in the United States, because if not, then we're gonna have a federalist in name only. We're gonna call it federalist, but still gonna be the same thing. Everything is gonna be controlled by Congress and the Senate and the President. So independent states cannot have their own laws, right? Their own policies. What if one state, like I said, is gonna legalize marijuana or drugs or abortion? Okay, and the national government say no, you cannot have that because we are one country. So these people don't know what I'm talking about. So